back at the cabin. I made my way here. There's still about maybe 4 feet of snow, but it's packed hard enough. And so, I mean, it really, some places snowshoes are limited because they don't work too well. But I got here, I bought an extra pair of snowshoes just in case I start sinking everywhere. But I mean, I did just fine with boots. As long as you don't really like sprint or jump, you won't sink. I'll be just fine. So yeah, pretty much what you just saw. I put nails up to hang my guns up and stuff. That's pretty much all I've been doing this winter, just because it's very cold. Today I'll try to do a bit more caulking in the walls. I'll give you guys a close up of that. Last weekend I came up with my girlfriend and we did some caulking in the walls. It took about 6 tubes just to do this little wall here. And that's minus behind the heat shield for the fireplace. So today I'll try to maybe do where the window is, but I really have to just let it heat up in here because I don't want the caulking to freeze and not stick. So I'll give you guys a close up of the caulking I'm using. So there it is. That's what I'm using. It's for doors and windows, except my color is a dark brown. It just says brown on the packaging. I don't know if it's going to focus on it, but right here it says brown. So that's what I'm using. It's $2.50 a tube, $2.57 I think. So I bought a box of 12. And for other ones that they had, so I pretty much emptied out the store. They had 16 tubes. I bought them all. So I'll see what I could do today. So, quick recap of what you guys didn't see. I brought a bed last weekend. This is a little modern army cot that folds up. You could pretty much wear it like a backpack. I have that. It's a canvas and an aluminum frame. Other than that, I have a sheepskin, I guess you could say. It's a fake one. I didn't want to bring a real one because I was scared the mice and the squirrels would just absolutely destroy it. But they didn't touch it. I just, have a duck there that I brought. I really don't like looking at the pink walls. It just really messes up the whole place. I really don't like the look of it. So update number 2, I forged out a Suffolk latch style door handle. And now this is butt ugly, I know, but it's just a prototype. I took old nuts and such because I had to take spacers, and that's just a scrap piece of wood. I'll forge out actual pieces of steel and stuff that looks good with like knobs for the inside. But on the outside, I'll show you how it works. But on the inside, you just open it like this, and the door opens and closes. See, it has to be adjusted. It needs weights on it and stuff. But that's pretty much how it works. So I'll show you guys how it works outside. So here's the outside view. I'm not a master blacksmith or anything, but I can still manage. I lag bolted it. They're 1.25" lag bolts into the wall, so it's really just not going anywhere. Now door's locked. Click this, open the door, click again, close the door. Not fancy, but I thought it fit the cabin pretty well. And also the hinges, I lag bolted them into the logs, and I'm going to need to buy more 1.25" lag bolts for the door side. I just finished caulking the main wall with doors on. It is 6:59, so 7 o'clock. It's starting to get a little bit dark now. The sun's leaving outside. You don't really appreciate electricity until you have to caulk over 10 logs in the dark at lantern light. A good old flashlight or just a good old light bulb does the trick, but it is what it is. Lantern light, it had to be today. On the outside, I still have to caulk all the logs, like inside, but I don't think I'll put that much like on the inside because the logs, how they're shaped, they're pretty much, you can see they're pretty tight on the outside. You can't even see the pink insulation in some places. So I have that to do this summer. Well, try to start this spring if it could stop being cold. Right about now, it's tonight. They say it's about to be -20, so it's gonna be very cold. That's why I'm not really a fan of doing some caulking right now. So I mean, I don't really have a choice to just heat up inside, or else it's just not gonna stick. I have to caulk the logs outside. I need to finish the roof. The little planks there you see, like the 3-inch planks holding the tin there. I'm gonna have to put some pine wood to hold those up, pine planks, and I'll probably do like a little 4 or 5 foot porch, just so it's flush with the roof. But yeah, that's pretty much it. After that, it doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're doing it and you're alone, it starts to add up. Man, like I said, it's about probably -10, -15 right now, and in the cabin it's 30 degrees, and I cracked open the window, and I mean the door, you can see right through it, and it's still 30 degrees, so it heats up super quick. The little stove eats a lot of wood, but it gets the job done. I have a key on the chimney, so I slowly, like, temper it down a little bit, but just the embers itself are enough to heat up the whole cabin itself. Well, that looks like my day's just about done. I'm happy with the caulking looks like. I mean, I'm not going for anything super fancy, super slick, just because it doesn't really look natural. The way I'm doing it, I'm just using a flat piece of wood or bark or whatever I can find that slightly bends, that could go in between the cracks. And after that, I just kind of, let it kind of sit there, because it pretty much just looks like mud. The color of this is pretty much milk chocolate just melted, and that's what the texture is like. So I try to put at least as possible, but I also want to have a good balance of, actually just of it being thick. So I have to kind of judge just by feel and how thick it looks just by eye, because I don't want it to rip or anything, even if it's pretty much what it's made for. It's for windows and doors, so it writes down to elastic and it's all good for all that stuff. But yeah, so I did the main wall. We need to pack up everything and head out, because I have a walk now with the sleigh all the way through the swamp and back up to the cottage. So yeah, hopefully tonight I sleep well and I'll be able to come back tomorrow. Back again today at the cabin. It's Sunday now. Today I'll try to finish off caulking the window wall, the one you're looking at right now. I don't know how many tubes it's going to take me, because I'm going to have to do around the window and in the window, but we'll see how that goes. I wish I could say that I'd have some type of miracle tool to do this with, but in reality, I have a little caulking gun, and this is just a little 300 milliliter one. I know there's some that have like massive tubes in them, but this is a 300 milliliter. And then I have a thin piece of wood that I just use to push it in between the cracks. I pretty much don't want it to be a nice and sleek job because I want it to look kind of natural. And when this dries, the color of this, as you put it, is pretty much melted milk chocolate. And then the more it dries, it gets a little bit darker, so it looks like mud. So I don't really want it to be super nice and sleek and glossy. So this thing too, the piece of wood isn't super smooth either. So it gives it a pretty much just like packed in mud kind of look. So it pretty much floats my boat really. I like the look of it. So I'm pretty much halfway done the wall over here, and I'll give you guys updates as I go along. Tedious process. Right now I'm only doing in between the logs themselves. I'll have to do all the joints after. Well, that's probably a project for another day. I'll try to pass all the caulking I have. I have 6 tubes left, I think. It's going to be more than enough to finish this wall. I'll probably do a little bit around the window, and then I might start this one behind me, but I don't know. I'll see where the wind takes me today. Alright, so just finished caulking this wall. I actually finished probably about an hour ago, but my dad was here, so we talked and stuff. And I have now for this spring or this summer, I have to do behind the fireplace, take the fireplace out, the heat shield in the back, and need to do all the caulking behind that. And I have the wall that's behind you guys right here that you can't see that I have to do the entirety of. The little things on top here where the beams are, I have to fill those up with caulk and the wood that we kept, like the shims of wood, the triangles, to fill those up. But that's pretty much it. So I did a lot today. I wanted to screw in the logs, but I forgot well, I didn't forget it, I just didn't know I was going to get this far. The sockets for the impact driver, so I use lag bolts now. There's 12-inch nails. This whole front wall is pretty much 12 inches of the massive 12-inch spikes. Here and there in the walls, there's 12 inches and 10 inches, but I'm redoing everything with 10-inch lag bolts, so it's not going anywhere. And now I just kept this plank here because I would like to do possibly like a shelf, or not a shelf, but like a table around here. It's going to look like this pretty much, with butting up in the corner around the window also. It's going to be like this. So I'm going to have to take the shelf out and possibly put it behind you guys on the bed, over the bed. I'm going to put my gun supplies on there, my ammo and such. But yeah, I also need to make like a stool or a chair or something because I need some place to sit. For now I have a bed, but yeah, so that's pretty much it for today. I'll probably start packing up soon, heading to the cottage, but I have to clean up and do a couple more steps. I have a little slice of pizza here on the stove. Probably sweep a little bit the floor. And for anyone that was wondering, I'll give you guys a peek here, but I'm about 6'1", 6'2". And right in the middle of the cabin, you can see I have probably like 4 to, I don't know what, 5 inches, give or take, on top. But if I go here, you can see here I'm going to beat my head against a log. If I start hugging the wall, which I won't ever do because there's going to be a table here, I have to be hunched over. But that's pretty much what I wanted. So yeah, I'll give you guys a quick look around the cabin now, what it looks like. Here's a door. I have my little shelf with the window. Not very tall, but that's how I wanted it, and that's how I like it. If I back up against the door here, my little stove, and this lens that I have on here, I'm zoomed out all the way, so it's actually closer than it seems. It's just a little 10 by 10 shack, but that's that. Now we'll back up against the window. Here's the wall that I have to do. My little cot that's there, I'm pretty much using it for storage underneath. And I also feel, I feel freaking exhausted just because it's about 40 degrees in here, 40 degrees Celsius. A little 10 by 10 shack. I mean, my lips are dry. You walk in from outside, it's a huge, dramatic change. Yeah, it's pretty much just my little video, little quick update. I stayed here for 2 days. But I still need to do my door handle, the whole lock system. I'll put steel in there instead of this little prototype wood I have. The fire's going crazy in the background. You know, have to do just pretty much the basic things. Bring back more lantern oil because I'm running out. But yeah, pretty happy with the caulking job. I mean, huge difference from something like this. And then you switch around, and then it just goes to dark like this. Yeah, I find it looks way better than just the dark stuff, and it looks like mud. I'll give you guys a close-up here, pretty much. See, this is like the drying color. That's what it's going to end up looking like. So it just looks like mud, which I'm a big fan of. I went around the window. I did all that good stuff. So yeah, like I said, as I'm dying of heat, I'll eat my piece of pizza, probably sit outside, and relax a little bit before heading back. So thanks you guys for watching.